means go. We are live, gentlemen. We are live. We are live. We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Outsiders, you know what it is. If we are live, you know you are in for a real human conversation. So, with that said, welcome to the We Outside livecast, the Put the Guns Down and Giving Back to the Community edition, as always, that we have going on out here. And I'll just simply really start out quickly by saying if you are down with the real conversation, you need to be stay locked into this conversation. And as always, we're always bringing you a special guest. And this is not just any special guest. This is now officially with this conversation a two-time guest special for y'all out here. And we got, of course, the writer, the creator, the director of Put the Guns Down, a World Epidemic, which, of course, as if you guys have been tapped in with us, this is going to be a reminder for anybody watching new. Let me tell you what that is. It is a film and documentary where there are a lot of issues being talked about going on in our communities all around the country, all around the world. It is about the rash of gun violence that does not stop, violence in general, and most importantly, Terry, as we've talked about in the past as well, the underlying mental health issue going on with that as well. So we welcome in our special guest, Carney Sr. What's up to my brother on the other side as well? Dooney, what's good, my brother? What's good, my brother? Yo, man, we're in for a good conversation. I know this is your first official conversation and meeting of Terry, and I'm really excited for this conversation. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox real quick with the introductions. Terry, real quick, for anybody that didn't catch you the first time around, or even if they did, go ahead and remind the outsiders who you are and what you're about, bro. And as always, we're just gonna have a human conversation from there, man.
Yeah, I'm Carney Sr. I'm a filmmaker. I am the director of the Put the Guns Down, a World Epidemic. We just basically trying to bring the communities together from all across the world and to just try to do some positive things and play our part in role of trying to save some lives out here in this world. Same thing that you and Dooney's doing, man. I applaud you brothers for the great work that you're doing in the community, because you guys are really bringing people together, man, and you're giving them this opportunity to come on this podcast and be able to let others know what they're doing out here in the community. And basically, that's what my film is about. It's about all of us coming together as a village and trying to play our part and stay in our lane and bring the communities together. I don't care whether you live in Los Angeles or Chicago or New York or whatever. Hood is hood. And that's what I tell everybody.
Right.
You got to respect everybody's territory. You got to respect people, and you just got to learn to love life and just get out here and live, man, and embrace some of these young brothers and kings and things of that nature and queens. We done been there. We done did all kind of stuff. All of us have, man. So I'm just trying to give back to the community, and my lane is films. You guys do music, and you got your podcast, and you got other things going on in the community. Just wrapping your arms around one of these youngsters, man, and trying to guide them down the right road, man, and mentor them into doing some positive things. That's just where it's at.
Yes, no, we appreciate that breakdown and those kind words as well, because you're right. And Dooney and I talk about it all the time. It does take a village, right? It does. And I think it's important to understand that from our experiences that we've all collectively have had, that we continue to do that in our own right. And I think it's important to understand for people out there as well watching this, the importance of coming together, like you were talking about there, Terry, because not one individual knows everything out there, right? And most importantly, as you were saying, hood is hood, experience is experience at the end of the day. And if we could all come together with the experiences that we grew up in our respective places and or things that we've experienced along our paths of life, I think that village can really, as we've talked about in the past, grow to a town, to a city, to a state. I mean, we talk about that all the time, Dooney. So I mean, when you hear Terry talk about that from his perspective, what does that make you think, and what runs through your head from what he said there?
I mean, personally, he speak for me, and he speak for a lot of brothers in our community that we saying we ready for change, bro. We ready for change. And I love it, bro, because every time I meet a brother that's doing that in the community, I know my work is that much lighter. Uh, because like you said, we from the same all over the world, and people get around, bro. People get around, So uh, LA is just like Sacramento, bro. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so yeah, man, I appreciate that work that you do, bro, and getting that message out there because through art, and we are artistic people, by doing it through film and putting that message out there, bro, that's what they pay attention to. And hopefully draw some actors out or some producers out. You know what I mean? I know
Yeah.
it did it for me. It helped me
Yep.
out a lot. Doing Shakespeare, right? I'm a Shakespearean, right? So to be able to uh, transpose yourself into someone else and become this whole other, you actually create this character, right? Um, it allowed me to, it gave me a strength. It gave me ability to be something like we try to be in our neighborhoods, right? It gave without getting in trouble for it. Then I can go back home and be me.
That's real talk. That's real talk. Yeah, and that's just basically it, man. You just got to stay, kind of try to stay in your lane. I ain't trying to be something that I'm not, and I just want to be humble, and I want to play my part and do what I got to do to try to turn some lights around and things of that nature. And like I was telling you a couple of days ago, Mike, we have a lot of people in different lanes. It's like, okay, we have a few brothers that's incarcerated. We have a lot. I know I got probably a million friends that's incarcerated, and I got a call this morning, and one of the brothers feeling down, and it's a lot of things going on. So I had to lift that brother's spirit up and told him, man, we gonna stay strong together, man, and we gonna get through this, and we gonna pray about it, and them cage gonna come open. We gonna be like John, and you gonna walk up out of there. You know what I'm saying? So we iron sharpens iron, man. So
Mm,
wherever one of us start weakening ourselves or something of that nature, well, the other one got to grab him and hold on tight and pull him through. It's just like you and Mike. Y'all might one day might be feeling a certain kind of way or Dooney feeling a certain kind of way. You got to say, "No, come on, brother. Let's continue this fight, man. Let's continue this walk. We done already started this, So we got to fight these demons off our back, man. Just as well as we got to get these demons off these kids' back. We got to stay humble. We got to stay positive, and we got to keep moving forward with with what the game plan is out here, because it's spiritual warfare with what we're dealing
mm,
with, and we can't be afraid to get to roll up our sleeves, man, and get in this. A lot of people say, "Well, man, that's kind of like dry snitching." It ain't nothing dry snitching, because if we gonna get in here and put our dukes up, and we willing to fight no matter what to save some of these young souls' lives. You know what I mean? That to me, that's being more of a man than anything. You know what I mean? So we ain't throwing nobody away, and I don't tell nobody what's right. I don't tell nobody what's wrong, but I try to let them know where I stand with things, because just because I'm at a certain point in my walk where I'm at today, don't mean I was the same guy 5 years ago. Because I've been down those roads. I may not call 30 or 40 years, but you know, I was just one of the ones that God had a different plan to for me to learn something else and do something else. It ain't that I was better than my brother that caught that 30, 40 years. You feel what I'm saying? He just had God sent him a different direction because he wanted him to learn something different so that we could all come together and be able to become that village. And iron sharpens iron, and that's what's make us strong as a team to go out here and tackle these demons, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh,
Wow.
Such true words, Terry. And you said something, in that part too, that we've got to keep pushing, right? Even when we're having those tough days. And you also said something, about me or Dooney having each other's back when we're having that struggling day. That has happened. It's going to continue to happen. I think it's important to note for people watching that it's important to have people like that in your life, because at the end of the day, we are human beings. We have emotions, and there's going to be days. I mean, life is a roller coaster. And I think it's important to note that you got to keep people like that around you, in order to, when you are having those days, know that you're not going to be in it all alone, right? And I know you've had those too, Terry, right? Like, we've talked about that at length in certain situations. So from the challenge that, because I know ultimately when you started putting this film together and the vision that you had, and the reasons that you had it, it was a long journey to get it out in May of last year. And even what the further vision is for you, how do you overcome those days, um when you're just like, oh man, I'm just either not feeling it today, or I just feel like the world is just like against me today, or whatever the case might be. What is it for you that helps you get through those moments and just keep on pushing to what your vision began at, just to keep going day in, day out?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it's the same thing I'm telling you about you and Dooney or whomever else that's in your circle that's close to you. Ice T is a real close friend, a mentor, somebody that gives out good advice. He'll talk to, give me some pointers on different things that I'm going through, or Shiny Shine, or Spike. I don't know if you guys know brother Spike. He just got out not too long ago. I talked to my little brother Monster Yo. I talked to Prentice. I talked to Jay Burton. I talked to Suave. Chili Chill. All these brothers, man. That's just our circle, but we kind of bounce things off each other, man. And if you feeling some kind of way, we lift each other's spirits up, man. And you know we don't judge nothing, but we try to make sure we strong enough to continue our journey and keep moving forward, whatever direction that we're in or what we're doing. You know what I mean? So that's what we have to do, and we have to teach the young kings the same way. Um, you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have challenging days, but it is making that split-second decision of going the right way. Because see, that split-second decision can cost you 100, 200, 300 years and a dark day.
Mhm.
If you understand that part. Uh, we trying to prevent ourselves from doing that as well as these youngsters, you know?
Man, it's such a true story, and I think not enough males understand that. Like males historically, right? Or the macho, like we're just gonna get through shit. You can't be emotional, and I don't mean it from the sense of just sitting there and like crying. Like there's nothing wrong when you have those type of emotions, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking more about the, it's okay to reach out to one of your brothers and be like, yo, this is what's going on. I'm having a tough time. I'm having a challenge getting through this. I'm curious to both of you guys, and I'll definitely share my thoughts after I ask this. But what are your thoughts on or how do we, let me put it this way, and I'll give you an example as well. Like Mr. Fab up in the Bay regularly has something called thug therapy, right? Where men could just come together and have some therapy together, and where it's literally just some conversating and going through whatever's going through in their mind. How do you feel that we can get to it being better than it is today or than it was yesterday when we were growing up as adolescents, right? Because I mean, we're all in our, 40s or later, mid 40s or later to some extent. It was very different for us growing up in our day, right? With respect to sharing our emotions. Where we're at today, Terry, I'll start with you and then Dooney, I want your thoughts. What do you think we could do better to, I don't want to use the word make it more acceptable, right? But just make it more common where as human beings, whether we're male or female, that it's okay to embrace these things of just conversing with our support system to get the support that we need to get through those dark moments in life.
This is me. This is me, and I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I got away with a lot, right? I don't think it's we're talking about pure pressure here, and I don't think the pure pressure is no different than 40 years ago compared to what's going on now. This is the thing. Some get caught, some don't get. And I'm just going back to that because I got away with a whole lot of stuff. Some of my brothers did one thing and they got caught up, and they done did have they doing 30 years. They have already done 30, 40 years. You feel what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
just got away with a whole lot of stuff. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just it depends on where you at, what happened, and you just got away with that. But if you don't stop taking penitentiary chances, come to a point in your life, and if you have that opportunity or that chance, and that's what we talking about here, is those that have that opportunity and that chance. See, we didn't grew up now. We understand that it's serious out here. When we was younger, we was just like these little young kings out here who thought we was tougher than Superman, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, can't nobody catch us. I'm flyer, I'm slicker, and this and that. And don't you know, all it take is one time. One time. That's all it takes. And you know when it comes, when you least expect it, you be like, oh shoot. And that's what it hit you. And then you gaffled up, and then guess what? Now you're in
Over.
front of that judge. It's over with. But see,
Good.
so all we trying to do is say, hey, you got an opportunity here to do
Yeah.
something with yourself. You can't slip up. You cannot slip up, especially this day and time. You know, all it takes is that one hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So stop
Just
taking these
like that.
penitentiary chances. Stop taking these dumb chances, because 90% of what these young kings is out here doing, they're dumb chances. They're doing
Mm-hmm.
something very stupid that can give them 100 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you might think you hardcore or whatever. You get in there, you wake up in 5 years, and you realize, what have I done to myself? And you wake up and you can't get up out of that place. It's so easy to get into that place, but it's so hard to get up out of there. And so that's all we're trying to do is wake. It's time to wake up. And that's all I post is different things about waking up. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is, we got to wake up. We got to wake up, young people. We got to wake up, homeboys, friends, just like with you and Dooney. Dooney can wake up one morning and say, you know, F this, man. You know what? I'm done. I'm finna go out of here. I'm finna go whoopty woo. So,
Mm-hmm.
Mike, if you really his boy, you got to stand up as a man and to really talk to this brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what real boys do. I ain't finna let you go out here and go sideways on me when I know you can't afford to do this. You feel what I'm saying? You shouldn't do it anyway, because we done been there before. You feel what I'm saying? There's so much out here that we can put our brains together and we can accomplish things. But you get mad. You can be at the grocery store. You can Somebody can just tee you off at the grocery store. Guess what? And you finna go upside their head, and all it takes is that 3 seconds for you to make the right decision, or at the gas pump. You understand what I'm saying?
Especially with all the
Because,
cameras all over the
man,
place these days. There's nowhere to hide these days.
it's so easy to get upset, to get angry, to get mad, man. You know, I LA is a pit for that. I know Sacramento, everywhere is the same way now. It's so easy to get into some trouble. So you got to keep yourself away from these type of environments. You gotta protect your peace. You feel what I'm saying? And you got to surround yourself with people that's on the same level that you on, and birds of a feather flock together. Let's say that. So if
Mhm.
you already know that you got your temperamental, right? If you're temperamental, you got to get around some people that's going to bring that temper down and keep that temper down. And then they're going to keep you leveled out. Because if I don't keep myself leveled out, I already know where that next step is going to lead me to. You know,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
people will walk in front of you and just cuss you out, and that be
For
the devil
nothing.
throwing you a stumbling block to just try to pull your whole card. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He gonna try to pull your whole card and just see what you gonna do, if you're gonna take the bait or not. I'm gonna try to get Dooney to take this bait. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna piss
Mhm.
him off today. You know,
Mhm.
he already know. And that's just where it's at.
So what happened?
We got to grow up, man. We got to stay humble. We got to thank God. Don't be afraid to thank God for the blessings, because we're blessed right now. I don't care what you done went through. If you done did 10, 20, 30 years or whatever, look where you at now. You blessed. Because
Mhm.
I can call a couple of numbers right now, and them brothers, they got to stay where they at. They sending me trays of food, showing me what they eating today, and then I'm sitting over here eating this over here today. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So,
Mhm.
man, we got to thank God for our blessings, man. But we, at the same time, we got to try to help our brothers. We got to try to help these youngsters and this and that to continue to stay blessed. And we got to
Mhm.
preach blessings over each other, man. That's what real men do. You
Man,
know,
Right.
you
true
want
story.
you want your whole kingdom to stay strong. That's why I tell Suave and them all the time. Shoot, I don't need y'all to do the same thing that I'm doing. I need Dooney to go out there and do what Dooney do. I need Mike to go out there and do what Mike do. Now see,
Mhm.
and then when we go out here and get harvest, that's like Suave doing clothes right now. People
Hmm.
think,
Mhm.
oh, why Suave over here doing this and that? You and Suave done fell out. Man, Suave ain't fell out. That's my little brother. Me and
Hmm.
Monster, me and Monster Yo ain't fell out. That's my little brother. Prentice is my little brother. Jay Burton
Right.
is my little brothers. But
Right.
Mike, Dooney, you
Yeah.
you guys got to go get your harvest, and then when Thanksgiving come, our Thanksgiving, not traditional Thanksgiving, we're
Hmm.
gonna set our tables out and we're gonna put our harvest on the table and we're gonna all eat together.
Because everybody's
You know
bringing
what I'm saying?
something to that table, bro.
That's the way it
Always.
go. You
Mhm.
never put the same seeds in your garden, because why do you only want potatoes to grow in your garden? We don't want no just potatoes. We want carrots, peas,
Right.
green beans, meat, everything. You know what I mean? We want
Right.
harvest. So we got to send the whole flock out to go get that harvest. And we got to keep everybody strong. We got to pray over everybody that's in the flock. From Crystal to everybody else. We got people all over the place. People don't understand that. But that's just
Mhm.
people loving on each other, man.
Right.
And
Right.
standing together and staying strong together, man. That's what's gonna help us to stay out here and do what we do.
Mhm.
and that's what's going to help us to help these kids do what they do. Because the
Mhm.
the thing about everything is, if we're not doing it, how can we go out there and tell these kids don't do it?
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know what I
That
mean?
part. That
Right.
part. Dooney, I know you definitely got some things to add to that because Terry is dropping all kinds of wisdom and knowledge right now. And I definitely want your added thoughts or at least your reflections on what he said, because especially the last thing that he said, if we're not out here leading by the example, then how could we go out and tell somebody else, especially the young kings and queens that we're trying to save from a tumultuous lifestyle, from doing the same?
There's really no other way to say it, another way he said it, bro. Like I can't other than, you gotta be that, bro. Right? You gotta move with intention, bro. You gotta move in purpose, bro. You know what I mean? I had to talk with my grandson today. Like, I have to be the example for you, bro. I have to be the example for all y'all, bro. You know what I mean? Uh, that's my responsibility. And all I know growing up, and just like y'all know, like we watch people,
Hmm.
watch people. We didn't know why they was doing what they doing, but we watched their actions and we watched the reactions of everybody that saw, what happened, right? And some of that stuff we took on. So we got to be responsible when we do that.
No, you're absolutely right. Because what you're talking about there, bro, like when we're growing up at our time, we obviously grew up in a time where there was no such thing as social media, right? Our influencers were those in our neighborhood, right?
Right.
And I think, to what you were talking about, Terry, and very much what you were speaking on right there, Dooney, I think as elder statesmen these days, we have even more of a challenge than the elder statesmen and the OGs had in our day, because they weren't fighting against everything going on in the world and social media. We are fighting against everything going on in the world. And then this I don't you could give social media so many different words, right? But the dark side of it, the dark side of social media that hooks into our kids these days, and it's hard to get those hooks out of
Into
them.
adults too,
Like the
adults as well.
Yep.
Not that that's the bad part because they can't get the kids out of it because they clacked in it,
Yep.
right? It's like two or three generations lost in this
Mhm.
made up world.
And you said it the best there. Made up world. The amount of fake that is going on social media, where somebody or anybody can put themselves on blast and make it look like they're living this lavish lifestyle and whatnot, yet they're broke. And it's crazy because somebody posted a couple weeks ago that there was a state or country that actually is bringing about a lawsuit against whatever social media entity, just because of like they're basically like treating it as like a almost like a sickness in a way, because it's just like I listen, it's a lawsuit. There's so much to it, so I'm not even trying to dig into this shit. But basically the general gist of the lawsuit was like social media is like taking over and causing like mental sicknesses within people. And we got to fight against that. So I think it's more important now than ever, to what you two individuals were just speaking on, especially for the young generation, and very much our brothers and sisters, within our own lifestyles and with our own circles, that we've got to continue to shower people with that love and with those blessings. And Terry, you said something very important earlier again, which is worth noting. Like, if we can't sit there to one of our brothers or sisters and have a real conversation and tell them, hey man, you might not want to do that, and or you may not want to hear this, but I have a feeling that this decision that you're thinking about making is going to be a really bad one. Are we really their true brother and sister? Or are we just as fake in real life as most of these people are out in social media?
Yeah.
That
See, that you're the realist. You're the realist. See, that's the thing. I tell everybody, I don't need no yes men around me.
mm-hmm.
I need a team of soldiers and warriors that's gonna speak up, and they're gonna let us know if we shouldn't go around this corner. We shouldn't go around this corner. Speak up. Speak up. If you're on the team, speak up. Whatever knowledge you have, say it. Be man enough to say whatever it is that you feeling and whatever you're thinking, because iron sharpens iron. And I want our team to be strong completely all the way around that whole 360-degree rim. You know what I mean? And if we're not doing that, we're being fake. We're not being real with each other. So what we got to do, we got to go out here and keep it 100, really 100. You got all these trollers out here that, just like with what we talking about right now, you'll get some people making comments how, oh, they want to give us love and this and that, whoop de woo, trying to egg the kids on to where they want to say something negative, but that stuff don't bother me, because you hiding behind these cameras, for one thing. You ain't fixing to approach nobody on here. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? In your little mind, you might think you will, but you ain't fixing to do it, because you feel the energy. Energy. If you do, but a lot of these kids is like deers in headlights, to where they'll walk in front of the headlights and not realizing that they about to get slaughtered. You know
Right.
what I mean? We
Right.
walk into a room. We walk with strength and integrity. You know what I mean? And power. You could feel the power. We ain't even got to say nothing to you or do nothing to you. You're gonna
Right.
sense that energy,
Right.
and it is that's just the way it go. But social media, just like with what you're saying and this and that, people have gotten so comfortable of hiding behind these computers and thinking that that's gangsterish to be able to put some negative as a comment and this and that. And then, I'm the type, I don't say nothing, but we will approach you. We will see you one day, and we'll see how that go. You know what I mean? We'll just see how that go. But
Right.
we ain't gonna do nothing but try to love you and keep everything on a positive tip. But we ain't the type of people that you can just play with either. You know what I mean? We ain't those type of individuals. We're gonna always speak positive things about you. We're gonna always move positive, but we ain't those guys that you can just play around with either.
And I
And
think
we just have to keep that 100.
this day and time, man, so many people caught up with being fake, being something they're not, right? That's where all the trouble comes in, when everybody trying to be killers and trying to be gangsters, and they really not built like that.
Mm-hmm.
They
Exactly.
really not built like that, right?
Exactly.
And so to the point that they would run up on someone that's really built like that, and now that person is the problem.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's some people that's really built like that.
Yeah.
Like, stay in your lane and allow other people to stay in their lane, right?
Yep.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get through life. We don't want confrontation. We don't want none of that. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
We want to be in love. We want to love, right? But
Exactly.
it's so crazy that, and it wasn't like that back in the day. Like, if that's what's changed. If
Yeah.
you had that energy and I had that hitter energy, we met up.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
never a
Yep.
hitter with a cat with fake energy and we got a moppy.
Exactly. Yep.
It's like weird. Like, you didn't know that it was for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like,
Hey,
I'm a man.
hey, they don't know nothing about what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about that.
That's just foreign to them, bro.
Yep. Yep. They have no clue. They have no clue. That's what I call it.
Integrity
That's what I call a deer in front of the
in the headlight.
headlights. Yep.
Yeah, wow, you stuck on that bull. Rose with the
Man.
bull.
Yep. Yes, sir.
It's so true though. And then it's crazy because with you talking about like the peer pressure, Terry, like It's different today too, right? Like people get that peer pressure and then it's like, okay, they're ready to do it, they're ready to do it until they're not, right? And what's really crazy is, I mean, it brings up a reminding story of me. I remember growing up, this kid, Chris O'Malley, wanted me to fight this kid, Ryan Cleotes. And so this kid, Chris O'Malley was egging me. I'm like, nah, bro, nah, man, or whatever. But he's like, but he's talking about your family. You're talking about your family. And I'm like, well, what did he say about my family? He said some shit. And then Ryan's like, yeah, okay, I did say that. But what's really crazy is back then we threw the hands up, right? We threw hands, right? But these days, what's really crazy is in some cases, yes, that's still happening if they're man enough to step up and do so. But we're seeing a lot more of it in other form of violence as well, right? Because hands graduated to knives graduated to guns. So it's really crazy because people aren't really about that life when they're behind the computer, but then when they're peer pressured into those situations, if it's not just their hands, well, where do they come in? At what cost as well, right? So it's like, what is that peer pressure really going to get you? You guys have already talked about it. It's either you're going to find out who you really are, which a lot of people aren't really going to get down with that when it comes down to it, or you are so scared of actually having to do that, or even more scared of looking like a punk because you don't want to step to XYZ, then what do? You look at the route of trying to literally take somebody out. And like, where's that getting you? Because everything that comes with it. So it's like it's just really fucked up, right? Because
That's where the mental
the
health component comes in.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's where the mental health component comes in, bro. We have to get in there and help them think through it,
yes.
bro. It's only
Exactly.
way out is through. And if you haven't been through it, you can't help anyone through it.
Exactly.
Because you don't know the
Exactly.
symptoms. You
Yep.
don't know the feelings. You don't know the anxiety. You don't know all those range of emotions that we go through.
Man.
So you have to be through it in order to coach them through it.
Come
It's
on
like
now.
tread that path, right? You have to tread that path, bro. And
Yep.
we can see it.
Yep.
That
Hmm.
was us. We could see it. Like, come here, kid. Let me holler at you, kid. Like, you know what I
Yep.
mean? We get it, right?
Yep.
Um, it's just we just got to be willing to get out there, bro,
Yes.
and put ourselves out there and keep doing this and having these conversations because what you was talking about earlier was hyper masculinity.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Hyper now
Exactly.
it's super hyper masculinity because now they're gonna go to guns. I'll do anything over a word,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
over not getting a like.
Exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? And they willing to give their life for likes.
Yeah.
Not really,
Yo.
like I said, because they Augmentala is not fully developed. They don't think about consequences. They can't see
Hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So they willing to give that and then go to prison and then get that sentence and it hits you and when they sentence you. When
Man.
they tell
Oh,
you you will not be whoop, 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 whoop for until you're 70, you like
man.
Then it's
Man,
like,
come on now. Come
what do you
on
no
do?
now.
one can hit you as hard as that, bro. Nothing in
Oh
life
man.
can hit you as hard as that, bro. When that judge tell you, bro, you won't be seeing freedom for the next 25 or 30 years, bro.
Come on
You won't
now.
be eligible for that time.
Come on now.
That's when reality hit, and then like, okay, now, well,
Say, how do I change the game on this one, huh?
Mm, you
now,
can't.
and there's no more likes now. There's no more
Yep.
likes, and there's no more none of that. There's no more guns either.
Yeah.
You check them
Now
in at
what
the
you
door.
gonna do? Now what you gonna do? Yep.
So if it
And
wasn't
that's
really in you,
something Monster Yo just literally said that, Dooney, on Instagram. So that's a
it could
very
be
true
bad.
story.
It could be bad unless you run into some good dudes that's gonna choose to put you in their palm and carry you through like a little lion or a little cub, just because they got good hearts. Other than that, you get fed, you go to that lion's den.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a total different
Yeah.
experience, bro. It's
Yeah,
all
it's a
about
wrap.
which yard you go to and who you make it to the yard with.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a wrap. And
Man, crazy.
that fakeness ain't gonna work. It's not
Cat
gonna
smell it.
work.
Cat smell it
Exactly.
like
Oh yeah.
mm,
Yes,
that's
sir.
him.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Things become a lot different. when that
Yep.
happens. A lot
Yeah,
different. That's
Yeah. Yeah. So you better think out there, young people.
yeah.
You better listen to what we're talking about right here,
Mhm.
because you
it's real
All
it'll
of it
life.
take.
here.
It's real life that we're talking about. Real life that
And
we experience here.
but what's crazier more than any of that, and these kids don't understand, these same people that you're trying to kill is going to be the same people that's going to be your allies in prison.
Come on now.
So
Come
you
on
did it for
now.
what?
Yep.
Those are the people you're going to run with.
Yep.
All
Yep.
that stuff that you're doing out here on the streets is no longer going to apply when you get in there.
Yep.
Y'all are all y'all got.
Yep. Yep.
That's
It's
what they
so
need to
true.
take account of.
You better
Like you
learn it
giving your
now.
life for something and for people that you're going to wind up being allies with.
Yes, sir.
And if not, you're going to live a terrible existence inside of prison, bro, on your own. Yeah.
Man. So how they
Yeah.
gonna do that, Duty? How they gonna
Well,
do that?
Lord, I didn't see them. They jumped off the fifth tier.
Man, come on now.
They jumped off that fifth tier or cut their wrist.
Yes, sir.
One got their medication and swallowed it and made sure they didn't wake up.
Gotta keep it 100, right?
Yeah. Or they went and got on medication because they couldn't handle it. It's too
Man,
much. Give me them psych meds, man. Look,
man. Come
I
on
can't
now.
deal with this right here.
Man, you better
Nah,
think.
man, it's bigger than that, man. You gotta love yourself more than that, man.
Yes,
Hmm.
You know what
sir.
I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
quit,
it's
quit,
certain
quit
things
fuss.
that I would go for, and that's my family. You know what I mean? To keep my family and kids and elders safe, bro. There's certain things I would sacrifice for, but for the bozo, we're not doing the bozo.
Exactly.
We're not
Exactly.
doing that.
The blind following the blind. You better stop it. Better
It's
stop
gonna
it.
get you nowhere. At least it's definitely not getting you somewhere that you want to go. Like what?
Well,
What are we? Like what are we doing? You got to think. Like you were talking about early, Terry. It's that one split second decision that will literally change the
Man.
trajectory of not only your life but everybody's life around you
Yep.
as well.
That's what Dooney's putting the hammer to the nail on. He letting you know it's real. You know, you think it's a joke. You think you playing games, and you're gonna wake up on the other side of that fence, and then
you're gonna
you in
find
there
out who
with
your true friends is.
exactly you in the line.
You're gonna find out who your true friends is.
Yeah, I mean, really ain't real until you're about to feel, and that's really
Yeah,
what it comes down to.
bro.
Yep,
But we definitely by having these conversations, bro. What happened is a lot of us got taken out of our roles, right? As a man, white, they want us to believe that we only wear one hat,
right.
but we're brothers, uncles, cousins, sons, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Fathers. We have many different hats. So when we disappear from the community, although our little cousins, our little sisters, our little brothers, our little nephews, all of them are being left without that guidance. We wasn't there to give them that self-confidence, that self-esteem, the way they didn't need no guns and they beat from the hands.
yes, sir.
They missed that. They was raised by their mothers because we was out of position, bro.
Yep,
We were in
that's real.
prison, we were out in the streets, or we were serving some other man or whatever it was you was doing. We
Yep,
wasn't there with these women and with our queens, bro, and teaching our young man how to be.
exactly. Yeah, I totally agree
That's
with that.
our fault.
Yep, that's
That's
real
not
talk.
their fault. It's not these kids' fault. It's our fault. So
Yep,
we gotta correct it because we were them. They were never us.
and be
And
accountable.
we know what they need, and that's what we're talking about right now.
Yep,
Hmm.
accountable. You got to take accountability first.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, and you got to let them know that um, go be a man about it. Go be a man and get out here and do what you're supposed to do as a man. You know what I mean? That's just where it's at.
What's
That's why I go back in them prisons, Terry.
Yes,
I go
sir.
back in there and have the same conversation with them brothers, like, hey, bro, we need you out here, and it's good out here, bro.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
go to 6 prisons, bro. That's what and I'm telling them, bro, in the yard, bro, like we need you out here, bro.
Yep.
They not locking anybody up. They locking brilliant minds up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we have a group. We have a group every Sunday, pretty much, and that's what we pushing those lines through, and trying to stop some of the brothers from, just eating up the young lions, and keep, leading them the wrong directions in these institutions and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So we're getting stronger with our coalition of individuals that's pushing that line, and when the youngsters come in, that they make them go get that education, because they got
Mhm.
an opportunity to come back out in the next 5, 10, even 20 years. So, and if you don't want to follow this protocol that we pushing through the institutions, then you're going to be disciplined.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
It's true,
So,
and I think when we talk about the education too, like we got to understand, doing no different than we've had, on conversations before, right? Or even Terry, when we had, one of our first conversations that we had after you relating to the subject specifically was when we talked about accountability with OG Chili Chill, right? Like I think it's important, like Dooney, because you had said it earlier in this conversation, like our frontal temporal lobe doesn't really fully develop as human beings until we're 21, right? So I think it's
25.
important that 20, yeah,
25
25,
years old in 6 months.
like
mhm.
fully developed. So like when we talk about these young kings out here that are, teenagers, or even 18, 19, 20, like these are still babies, right? Like they can't think completely rationally, right?
That's
So it's
why they
like,
easily being manipulated.
Yep, that's real talk. It's real talk.
That's why they do what they do. And they're
Yep,
not getting no other truth from a G homie until
yeah,
they hear conversations like this, and they be like, "Hey, wait a minute.
yep,
Hold on." You know what I'm saying?
yep.
That's why these conversations are important, bro, because we can get through to those kids that don't got G homies, that's not keeping it real, that don't want no circle. They want to be it so they can tell them kids anything. They don't want nobody in their life to tell them they
Exactly,
out of pocket
exactly,
because
exactly.
it'll stop them from being the shit, right? Or being, you know
Mhm.
what I mean? But
Yep.
no, uh-uh, this is needed, bro. This
Yes,
is
sir.
needed.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And the crazy thing is, man, is that we're bonding. We got so many brothers from every state, pretty much, that's just coming together, man, and they starting to really work together. We got brothers out of New York right now, Chicago, Detroit, and we all on that same lane of bettering the communities right now, and what we're going to have to develop, just like what you guys are showing. You might have to figure out how we could do a Zoom show where we can get more, because you get some very interesting topics and stuff when you can
Mhm,
get brothers from different states and
mhm.
stuff, and and
mhm.
and, and we sharing this knowledge of
Yeah.
whatever's going on. You know what I'm saying? And we get more ideas of what we can take back to our communities and try to make some changes here and there. And just like Dooney said earlier, you know, we right now we have all the best hip hop rappers. We know everybody from hip hop to films, and we got everybody.
Mhm.
Man,
They need big homies too.
man, it is so crazy. I just right before I got on the phone, got with you, Mike. Earlier, I was on the phone with DJ Night Stalker. Night Stalker, I don't know if you guys know who Night Stalker is, but
I'm
Night
familiar.
Stalker, he his brother DJ Train was the original DJ for NWA. Uh,
Mm,
he was there before Yellow. Now this is a NWA history.
wow.
But what happened was uh, Tootie Night Stalker's them house caught on fire. Train couldn't get out. They had bars on the windows and doors. He burnt up
Mhm,
in the house. Then
mhm,
NWA ended up getting Yellow. And that's how DJ Yellow ended up with NWA. But Night Stalker, he did all the
Mm.
South Central Cartel. He did JJ Fad. He
Ah,
did Ice Cube's Wicked, all that. So he's back on deck again. We working on some things. We've been tightening up Ice's new album. Ice got an album coming out in
Yes,
March.
he does.
Um, it's fire. Working on a few little changes and fine tunes and things like that. But it's fire. So we've been getting that thing together and stuff. But make a long story short to what I'm saying, we have all the tools amongst all of us to really put some stuff in a pot and cook it like gumbo. From you, you,
mhm,
you know, me and Courtney been doing some talking and stuff, and we got some stuff coming up, and that's why I was telling Mike. But I would like to try to. I think we got to figure out how we could broaden this thing to be able to have more people on some conversations. And it don't even have to be a show conversation, but I think we need to develop something to where we can have Zoom calls and have broader brothers on
Hmm.
there. And it's not just a thing for just talking about different pure pressures and stuff. We could do that, but it gives you a platform for me to let you know what I got going on, a network type of thing.
Yeah.
You
mhm,
know, and it might be different things that you guys want to develop harvests in to help getting everybody working together and stuff like that, man.
mhm.
You
Our
know,
I,
ultimate goal is to be able to pull up to the city and have them. Like I told him, bro, ain't nothing like an embrace, bro.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
nothing like an embrace, bro. This is one thing, bro, but that
Yeah.
embrace tells everything. We talking
And
about
you
that
want to be able
energy,
to,
right?
hey, Dooney, you that way you could pull up in any city and your boys is there. You got a whole squad in every city, and that's what it's all about. It's
That's
brotherhood.
the
yes.
goal, bro.
It's
I wanna
just
get out.
brotherhood and love, and that's
I
where
told
it's
my
at.
neighbor, yeah, that's the thing. I still haven't even been to LA yet, right? Other than
Oh
work,
yeah.
turn around
Oh
and
okay.
leave.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of places I haven't been because I was there. But
Right.
I got love everywhere I go because, like you were saying, there's never been a pup that ran across me in 30 years that I never didn't enhance, bro.
Right. Right.
So
Yep.
I
Yes,
got
sir.
access to every hood. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
talking about?
Yep.
When you put it out, bro, them the kids,
Man.
the ones that was coming to prison, is the ones that was
Yep.
out there running the hoods, right? So
Exactly.
I got tied with them,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
I need to get out and really like see the world, though, man.
Man,
Same thing, New York. You know,
I'm telling you. Yep. That's what.
Detroit,
That's all.
I need to see something different. I need to meet brothers they're already advanced where we trying to get to. They're there in
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just
Yep.
have that conversation, bro. How'd you
Yep.
get there? How'd
Yep.
y'all get, you know what I mean? And stuff
Yeah.
like that. I would love to pull up and have them authentic conversations about, because it's even though although it's the same, some communities have advanced faster in cities
Yes.
than others.
Oh yeah. 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 That's real talk. That's real
And that's
talk.
where the connections come in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We gotta hook our power line up in the country in Sacramento.
Man, come on now. Come on now. Yeah, so that's what we've been doing, man. We just been plugging everything up, man, and it's been great with connecting these different brothers and this and that, man. And, I just been loving that, and I'm getting ready to make some big moves myself here in a minute. We just trying to see. My team is trying to. We waiting to hear back from a few people on some business deals, and so we just trying to keep that under wraps. I don't want to talk about that too
Of
much
course. Of
Mhm,
course.
mhm.
until we see how that blossom. But it's all going to be a beautiful thing. And I was telling Mike Dooney the same thing. Like, man, just keep doing what y'all doing, man. You guys probably just because you don't hear about me, I'm watching you. I'm watching everything that you guys doing. I'm loving it. It's other brothers that's the same way. I brag on y'all all the time about, I just like the chemistry. I like the bonding with what you guys are bringing to the table with everything else. And, we got to embrace each other, man. And we just got to grow out here, man. That's what it's all about. These fake ones, man, you got to let them just run off your back like water and let them move to the sideline, man. But we finna get ready to do some things out here, and that's all I've been talking about. We finna get ready to do some major things, and we got some major plugs moving. Um, we just want the real ones to stay on deck, you know. And we're gonna help these kids. We're gonna help these kids. We're gonna set up stuff in different cities so that they can be able to be a part of stuff. And it's just like this. Everybody's not supposed to be a rapper. Everybody's not supposed to be a filmmaker. Shoot, we got brothers that do painting body. We got people that's doing engineering work. If you go to school, you can become an engineer. You can work on jet engines and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. We got sports players and stuff like that. We tied into that's the other thing I was telling you. A lot of these kids, if you play sports or whatever, we tied into basketball, football, baseball, soccer, giving out these NIL deals. This is major now. So we can set some kids down, man, and from an OG's perspective, and
Mhm.
be able to guide them and get them connected with whatever it is that they like doing. Just like whatever career move you trying to develop for yourself avoid the pure pressure, and let's focus on putting you a blueprint together to get from A to Z and graduate. And then you'll be like, oh man, those brothers still behind me, man, and I made it. You feel what I'm saying? So we want to see all the kids make it, but we don't want you to be trying to go down somebody else's lane or
Yeah.
whatever. Man. Do what God put
Find
you
your own
here to
identity. Yes, find your own identity
exactly
and what
find
that
your
is.
own identity.
Okay.
Find
We
it.
got, like I said, it's made it's like now everybody have to be a killer.
Exactly.
No,
Right?
I'm
You
a
ain't gotta
carpenter.
be there.
I'm
Exactly.
a carpenter, bro.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, and then what you were saying, Terry, too, like when you can sit there and have that support, or you are in a position and to lend from your experiences the support for that young king, that young queen to be successful in whatever their identity is and what they want to do, how that translates into the life, so they can sustain the lifestyle that they want to sustain, whether it be a carpenter, whether it be a basketball player, tennis player, painter, chef, whatever the case might be, right? Find your identity. But when we are able to give that to that next generation, that's legacy. I think too many people get caught up in like money. Like, no, like at the end of the day, your legacy is going to be built. And it's funny they bring up Court, because I was listening to one of Court's podcasts with somebody the other day, and they were talking about Master P specifically. And of course, Master P's been a mentor to Big Court for 27 years now at this point in time. And I think it's important to note that, and I already knew this, but it's reiterated when I hear conversations of whoever's having it. You're not taking that $100 million with you. You're not taking that 2 million. You're not taking the $5 that you might have with you to your name when you die. But what you are going to leave behind is a legacy. And
Mm.
legacy is really what are people saying on you when you're gone. And that's exactly what was Court's point in the part of the conversation that he was having. He was actually, I think he was talking to Chico Brown, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, he's like, he is gonna be remembered for everything that he did in the community. He's not gonna be remembered for his songs and his this and his that. He's gonna be remembered. And that's what legacy is. And the beautiful thing about that, you don't need money to do that. You just need
Exactly.
to be a good human with a good heart, and doing to what you were saying earlier, a human with pure intention that is willing to give back to the next generation, or the community, or the human race as a whole. Because if you do that, it doesn't take a dime. It just takes your time. at the end of the
Exactly.
day. And again, whether you left when you left the physical form of yourself and the earth, when you're gone, doesn't matter if you have $5 or $5 million. You're going to be remembered for what you did, not what you had. You know. And
Mm-hmm.
we got about 10 minutes left or so. I just want to give us a 10-minute time check. But go ahead, Dooney. You were just gonna say something right there.
Whatever your heart was when you were here is what will be written on your tombstone
Mm-hmm. That's real talk.
if you get one.
That's real talk, right?
Yeah.
If that was something written too, it was just unwritten.
Yeah, it's written in the book, right? It's
Very
definitely
much so.
most
Very
deaf.
much. Very
And you
much so.
control that. We want our kids to know that you control your destiny, bro. You don't
Exactly.
have to die that way. You can die of natural causes. You can die. God allow you to live on, but you can't put yourself in compromising situations that's going to increase your risk of being murdered or being homicide or being socially castrated and put inside that monastery for many, many years, which is the new plantation called
Mm-hmm.
prison.
That's right. Yep.
Because they don't want old people. They hold you till you old, but they're not sending old people to prison.
It's a business.
Hmm.
They need
It's a
young, strong
business. Yes, sir.
slavery's alive and well, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
I just
it's
say
so
they
crazy.
change their clothes.
That's real talk right there, though.
Yeah,
That's
man.
real talk.
Come on,
Yes,
T.
sir. Man.
Come on. We woke
Yep,
and we
that's what we
waking up.
try to do. We try to make them stay woke, because
Mm-hmm.
man, you gotta think before you do. Quit following Mr. Potato Head around and listening to
Mm-hmm.
what Mr. Potato Head got to say. Stand on your own 2 feet and make better decisions out there. Find some real ones and have a conversation with some real ones. Don't be afraid
Mm-hmm.
to ask the question. You know what I mean? It's a lot
True
of us
story.
real OGs out here. Go talk to the OGs, the real ones. And you know, and that's my big pet peeve. You got some of these OGs want to lead these kids and keep them doing
Mm-hmm.
what they doing now, but you got to get away from that. You got to look at who's doing something that you want to do or become, and
Mm-hmm.
go and approach them and start talking to them about stuff. And if you need to find somebody that's in that lane that you're dealing with, come talk to one of us. Come talk to
Right.
one of us. We're gonna play like the old switchboard back in the day, and we're gonna plug you up to the right person. How about that?
That's
That's
How
important.
about
that's
I
it.
want to say something. I was looking up some numbers because Terry, obviously, yes. I mean, we talk about it all the time in these conversations that prison is a business. Check this out, and this is just the United States, mind you. People watching, this is just the United States. The U.S. prison system is estimated to be a 182 billion to 200 billion annual industry. Think about that. It goes on to say that is bigger than the GDP, the gross domestic product of over 133 countries. That's wild.
yeah?
That's wild to put it in like the numbers like that.
No,
80
it's not,
billion of that
bro.
is,
How
well, no,
many
no, no. I'm
slave
just
plantations did they
well,
have?
that's what I'm saying. And check this out.
Yep.
80 billion is spent annually on corrections by government agencies, which comes from taxpayer dollars. So
Hmm.
yeah, prison is a
But
system at its
it's the money
finest.
that they're making from PIA and their industries. They're paying you slave wages. They're paying you 20 cents. The highest is $1, but you're making a product that costs $1,500 or $2,000 or even $20 or even
Mhm,
$10. You're not getting that.
mhm.
So you're making what? $8 a day?
Mm.
If that.
Hey, Dooney, then they get upset about coming out here to make $20 at McDonald's, sweeping floors, but
Right.
they rather go to that cage and make that, right?
But no, wait a minute. No, 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 no. You know how long you gotta wait to get that pay number? You working for free.
Wow, look at her.
It takes a long time because these people ain't going nowhere. They got them pay positions, bro. They ain't going nowhere.
Man, look at that.
You gotta wait for one of them to parole, fall off, die, or something for you to get a pay position.
Hey, so what are you telling them? They better get over there to McDonald's and start sweeping them
Man, you
floors
better
and
look,
be
man.
happy.
$20 an hour, but you better do the math. You better do the math.
Man, y'all better listen. You better wake
Man,
Man, lie,
up.
women, lie,
don't
numbers
look at
don't.
what you get paid an hour. Look at what you're gonna get paid for that
And the
month,
grind,
and what it's
yes.
gonna be able to cover.
Better
Budgets,
wake up.
budgets. Well, economy. Or excuse me, budgets. Dooney, like we talked about like a month ago. I forget who we were
Well, I
talking
know
to,
at
but
the
like,
end of the month, you barely buying a case of soup with that paycheck you getting in prison.
Man, come on
I
now.
don't even know you can even buy a case of soup now because of the pay with the pay number in prison, bro.
Man, you better wake up. You better wake up.
it's true story. I mean, it's no different, Terry, when we were talking like 2 Saturdays ago, bro. Like the financial literacy that we got to give these young kings and queens, bro. Like understanding a budget, how to work that budget. Like Dooney was talking about, you got to look at the whole month. You got to look at the quarter. You got to look at the year, and work within the means of what you're able to do. And I think that's something that's lacking as well. Just again, everything we talk about just comes back to education, right?
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, that's
exactly what we're talking about, and what you're talking about, and building out that network, and what Dooney was sharing earlier. What our goal is ultimately to literally take the show on the road once a month, take 7 to 10 days out of the month, and literally get into these communities. And you and I were talking about on the phone a couple weeks ago, Terry. Like using the network and the resources that we have to give these kids, no different than you talked about Dooney on a show that we had a month ago. Like if they took home ec out of school, they took carpentry out of school. Well,
exactly.
let's put that back into the community, because when you could put that stuff back into the community, you empower these individuals, and you also let them know that you can make a dollar. Well, I don't want to work at McDonald's. Well, you know what? Fine, because right now for some of these communities, the options are McDonald's or Burger King or getting out and being a D boy. Right at the end of the day.
Yeah,
That's really it. But let's give them more options. Let's intrigue their mind. Let's intrigue them with financial literacy. Let's let's
exactly.
let's give them back carpentry that they don't have access to. Let's give them home economics that they don't have access to. That's where it's got to start. And it's got to start at a young age, because again, that speaks to the legacy that we were talking a little bit ago. Let's give them different avenues,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody else is going to do it, because the prison system running at $200 billion a year in the fucking US alone, they're the ones that are going to do what they're going to do, and they're the ones controlling that shit. So let's take that control back. Let's take that power back, because that's what we can control. But again, we gotta work that network out, and then we just gotta find the right people, like you were saying earlier, Terry. We gotta find the right people that want to be a part of their network, not because they want to be like, oh, hey, it's me here. No, you gotta be doing it for
Oh
what Dooney said
yeah, you got.
earlier. The pure intention, the pure
Yep.
intention of it all.
One,
Like
Mm-hmm.
it's wild. It's wild. But you're right, Terry. We have the collective network to build that out. Let's, and we've talked, and we got to talk. We got to see if you still have time. We got to see if Crystal, could get on a quick call based on what I shared with you as well. But let me bring Dooney right back in. He came right back on. We got to build it out, and we got to do it strategically, right? And that's
Oh
exactly
yeah.
what that call is going to be. And no different than you've been working in the shadows with everything that you've been talking about. Dooney and I've been working, in
Oh
those
yeah.
same shadows outside of getting in these, these live conversations, which we'll always do, no matter what or no matter who's watching, because we know we're going to touch somebody with these conversations, right? And if we can get out
Oh
and
yeah.
do it to, for more people, and we can embrace people, like Dooney was saying, it's a game
one
changer.
thing I can positively assure is every single child can connect with real energy. Period.
Exactly.
There's not one child that can connect with that, no matter what they own.
Totally agree. I totally agree. Yep.
Yeah.
So true. So true. Well, we're going to start to wind it down. Terry, as always, we're going to give our special guest the final words. But man, another great conversation in the books, especially when we're having real, authentic human conversations, ladies and gentlemen. Like that's really what it is, man. So we appreciate the time. As always, this is only our second conversation where we have you live. There'll be more of these because we talk
Oh
offline all
yeah.
the
No
time
doubt.
as well. But any final words for the outsiders watching
Yeah.
out here
My
tonight,
my
King?
thing is to wake up. Um, think before you do. Stop making these split-second decisions and stop following behind people because you really don't want to go where they're getting ready to lead you to, So think for yourself. And if you're going to fall because you made that decision. Don't fall because you followed somebody else and you did what they wanted you to do. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay the piper. So
Mm,
stay woke.
true story. Dooney, final words of wisdom that you got tonight.
No matter who you go with, you getting your own number, your own cell,
Mm,
your own experience.
mm, mm.
So when
Nothing
he
else.
say, watch where you're being led to, understand you're going on your own.
Mm,
Period. When you get there, love you more than you love that individual is what we're
mhm,
asking the young men to do. Love you more than you love a feeling of how someone is going to accept or reject you. Choose you.
Man, true
That's
story.
what
And
King.
it's
real
exactly
talk.
what kings do.
Real
Exactly what
talk.
kings do. And I'll just leave everybody with this, to add on what you guys were saying. Like, Terry, you're talking about, falling. At least don't be afraid to fall, right? Especially if you're falling on your own to what you were talking about, Dooney, because that's what kings do. Kings earn their thrones, man, at the end of the day. But you know what? You don't get there without falling. Just don't fall on somebody else's fucking sword, man. Like, don't be stupid and fall on your own either at the end of the day. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid if somebody's going to look at you a certain way because you tried and failed. Fall on your face, fall hard, because that's how you learn. That's how
Exactly.
you get that crown that Dooney was just talking about. Like, you
Exactly.
want to be a king, you want to be a queen. That's how it's done, man. Like, you got to earn that shit. So don't be afraid to fall because that's part of life. Like all our brother Monster Yo says to me all the time. Like, what your path is laid. You just got to walk it. So just walk that thing. You're gonna fall. There's gonna be some crevices that you're gonna stumble over sometimes. It's
Mhm.
okay. Nobody in life, I promise you, I don't know a lot of things. I don't know a lot, but I know this. There is no one smooth paved path for anybody ever in life, nor will there ever be. Fall hard, but fall for the right reasons. That's how I'm going to end it. And I'll leave it on this. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on another We Outside Live conversation where we do have real human conversation. And if you're down with that, stay locked in this situation all the time. We come out to you on Mondays. We have loads of conversations up on our YouTube channel. So please, if you love what you're hearing, you want to give us some support, that's how you can go and do it. Go follow our YouTube. Go listen to all the conversations that we got on there. And if you want to tell a friend to tell a friend, we'll do that too, because this message needs to be heard. By a lot of people, especially the young generation coming up. So, Terry, as always, I thank you, bro, for the
I
time, for the wisdom.
appreciate you, brothers. I appreciate you
Yes,
guys for
sir.
having me, man. I really do. And keep
Do
doing the good work that you brothers are doing, man. I'm telling you, man, we finna do some major things. So pat yourselves on the back and let's
man.
keep on doing this work, man. Let's keep
Hey,
working.
we're
I wanted
just
to
here
say
to
it's
play
an
our part.
honor. I've been looking forward to meeting you, man. I already knew. It's just the energy before even getting to the
Yes,
energy.
sir.
Yes, I was just waiting for it, right?
Yep.
And yeah, thank you for being you, King.
Thank you,
Um,
bro.
um
You too. So
yeah.
likewise,
I
man.
needed to hear a lot of that you spoke tonight. I needed to hear that, right?
Right.
Because like I